Hey guys, it's been a long time since I made a video, but I thought it was important to make a video today, and the main reason is because of the news that we received all in the community about a student who committed suicide who was studying in University of Duisburg Essen. He failed in a few exams and then afterwards he took that decision. It's not the place or point of time for me to say if that was a bad decision or not, or whatever. I cannot say anything about it because even though right now you as a third person can always say, oh yeah, that person shouldn't have done this or that and 100 other things, but you were never in the shoes of that person, and you never know the story. But I think there are better ways than taking your own life to find a solution. No matter what happens, no matter what kind of subjects you fail in, no matter what kind of hardships come in front of you, there's always a way out. And the only constant in life really is just change. There's nothing that is going to stay with you. The good times that you're having right now, if you're the kind of person who came to Germany and have always faced nice times or always have had good times, well, that's going to change. And if you're a person who has faced some difficult times, that is also going to change. And no good time or no bad time stays forever. And it is really important because the thing is life is a lot bigger than just exams and university and masters and what the professors say and what the colleagues say and what kind of job you're doing and what are your relatives saying, what are your parents saying. Because even though in the news it was person committed suicide because he failed in a few exams, I think the reason could be a lot worse than that, because those kind of things come in the mind only when you think that maybe you don't have anybody to talk to. And it is super important to have some kind of support, and the university helps you with that. The university has their own psychologist where you can go and talk to. And I understand this is a taboo. Nobody wants to go to a psychologist and talk to them, because if you go to the psychologist and you talk to them, it's you are having some kind of mental problems whatsoever. But I mean, this is the kind of taboo that you have to step over. I've been a few times to my university psychologist, and I remember the case when I went the first time. So that was when I started my master's in the German taught program. And man, I think even though right now I'm encouraging a lot of students to start the German taught programs because of the insane amounts of benefits it has, in the starting even it was difficult for me. So I started my program and I was following with all of the other colleagues and trying to catch up with them. All of the load cases and the building codes and everything was different because, well, my background is from civil engineering and I started structural engineering in the Technical University of Hamburg. I was trying to catch up, but nothing seemed to work out. First of all, the worst thing that I found was that when I wake up in the morning and I'm going to the university, that would be around 5:30 I have to wake up. Till 6:30 I have to leave the house so that I'm in the class at 8:30, because from my place till the university it took around 75 minutes for me to reach there. So 1 hour 15 minutes. So I had to always be there early. It was everything in darkness. So waking up in darkness, coming back in darkness, then afterwards you're having the lectures, which is in a language in which you have never studied previously. And then afterwards you're trying to just kind of catch up with others with any kind of assignments and presentations which are given to you. And other students, of course, they are hesitant to take you in their group because they know that you are going to be a weak link in the chain. It's totally understandable. I mean, you're not the native speaker. But yeah, I went to the psychologist and I said, I don't understand what is going on, and I don't understand if I made a right decision coming here. And that was just maybe 3 weeks after I started my master's program. Sounds a bit crazy right now when I talk about it, but yeah. And the psychologists were what kind of problems you're having and why do you think? And I was yeah, I'm not able to make any friends, and that has never been the case. In bachelor's I was able to find some really nice friends and everything, and here it's difficult. And then she was yeah, it takes time and everything, just give it some time, see how things work out, and just remember that there's always a way out. And there's always a way out, and that way out is not committing suicide. That is really just kind of, yeah, I find it even though I wanted to say I didn't want to comment about it, but I find committing suicide a bit irresponsible, that you just want to say bye-bye to all of the problems, all of the hardships that you're having. I don't know, it's a tough topic to talk about because that student was also like not very young or very old. Like he was around the same age like me. Like I'm 25 right now, turned 25 on 1st January, and the student was 23. And if I see like how much stuff even like I have seen in the last few years, I would have like never thought the kind of like situation I am right now, like where we were able to buy a house and pay it off and like buy a car and like, you know, all of those different things. Because when I started my masters, I was 21. I started my masters, and I didn't start my masters, yeah, just like that. I was like, yeah, just come, like apply to the university, got that, went no. At every single step there was a fight. At every single step I did. When I was coming to Germany and was applying to the universities, I wanted to come to TUHH. Nothing worked out, so I was trying to see if there's a course which fits my requirements of structural engineering. Found one in TUHH, applied for the program, got rejected, wrote the reconsideration letter, got accepted. Then afterwards moved forward, thought this course is going to be something for me. But turned out it wasn't. And I think the one thing when I think about it which I did right and which I could like really recommend to all of you is going to be to find a mentor. And find a mentor in whom you believe in. Like see what kind of person is like first of all willing to listen to you and like willing to hear your problems, because I think that is really important. For me it was just a senior who was about to finish his master's program in the structural engineering, and he was a German. His name was Lorin, and I talked to him a lot. In the starting few days, I was like, you know, every single time I was feeling low, I was like, hey, I'm not like able to find any friends whatsoever. And he was such a nice guy that he like kind of like talked to me in all of those situations. And because he was a German himself, it was a lot more helpful to understand his side of the story than like for me to like, you know, find another senior, well, which would have been difficult in a structural engineering program. Who was coming from the same country to like ask him what is going on. Like of course like somebody from your own country can tell you his side of the story, but sometimes it's a lot more helpful to take a completely like third perspective on the entire situation. So he helped me out a lot in the starting, and then afterwards I had another friend whose name was Georg, and I talked to him, and I talked to him when I was starting to have problems with like writing my exams, because yeah, it's in German, it's my first semester, and first semester is generally difficult. Whenever you're going for the German taught program, it is always going to be a bit more difficult. So I talked to him, I was like, you know, Georg, I don't understand what's going on. Like I don't think I will be able to finish the masters at all if it goes on this pace. Because quite honest, I was like not really enjoying the program. I thought like it is going to be a lot different, and then it wasn't. And everything was in German, so that kind of like freaked me out. So I was like, you know, let's talk to everybody what everybody's saying. And then I realized the problem wasn't the language. The problem was that I just didn't like the program, because the next program that I studied, the International Management Engineering, it was like bilingual formally, but like 94% of the subjects that I had to write the exams of, they were all in German. The presentations were in German and everything, and I still like kind of went through it completely fine, without any major drama. But for that, like I talked to a lot of people, I talked to professors. I think the most important thing whenever you're outside, whenever you're away from your country and like you're trying to build everything for yourself from really ground zero, it is going to be that you always approach somebody. Any person whom you think could help you out, you just like go, you ask him. Like they could only do one of the two things. Either they can say no and like not help you out, or what happens most of the times is like they're going to talk to you and like they're going to like tell you some kind of insight from their perspective, and that generally always helps. Even though you don't have to like listen to everybody and like, for example, follow through on their advices, but I think just like keeping in mind what somebody has to say about a situation is a good like third perspective, and kind of like helps you solve the problems. My purpose of making this video is that it's a Sunday now, and like all of you guys must be at home and must be having some kind of goals for the next week, next months, next years. But whatever your goal is, and especially if it's like coming to a different country and like, you know, establishing yourself there, the biggest thing to remember is that it is not going to be easy. So even though like, you know, In the society, they're always like, yeah, I couldn't do anything in India, that's why it's going abroad. Let them. But when you come here and you have to like start establishing your life, there are going to be a lot of hurdles. There are going to be a lot of different kind of problems that you have to face, sometimes alone, sometimes with the help of your friends or with your mentors, with your professors, whatsoever. But there's always, always, always a solution. And that solution is like never to like say bye-bye to life. That's irresponsible. And yeah, I think you would be doing yourself no justice if you take that path, because you never know what kind of like opportunities, what kind of life paths, what kind of like different branches your decisions and your life can take. Like I don't know, like who knows, like maybe one of the people who are watching this video turned out to be the CEO of Coca-Cola or CEO of some kind of like Daimler, Benz, Audi, what do I know, like some kind of like major companies. And just because you face some kind of hardships in the middle and you thought, hey, it is going to be a nice thing to like kind of like say that I'm not going to be a part of any of this anymore, would be a nice solution. It never is. Never is. Even right now, like my masters, so I've shared every single part of my journey with you guys. How I started my masters, how I shifted my masters, how I submitted my master thesis, when I gave my thesis defense, everything I've shared with you guys. But yeah, even after like reading so much and like guiding others, like even then afterwards there are some problems. Like the university is creating some kind of drama, and like I'm on it, I'm like working on them with this situation. um, yeah, and it's a stressful time. It's a stressful time because like you study for so long, and then afterwards like you should have your certificate with you, but then your university makes some drama, and like do you just think that, hey, like all of this was for no purpose whatsoever? No, things are going to work out. It is going to take time, and maybe meanwhile there are going to be some other opportunities which present themselves, and the only thing you can just do, like I say, is like talk to anybody you think could help you out. And more often than not, you are going to be surprised how many times they're like willing to help you out or just willing to listen to you. And that is something you should keep in your mind. Even if it feels like there's nobody you can talk to, you're in a different country among different people and different culture, you don't know what to eat, you don't know what to drink whatsoever. No, there are going to be people who will always listen to you. And I think the best way to start with that is going to be just from your university psychologist. Just go and talk to them. Even if you're having like no problems whatsoever, it's never bad to just sit down and talk to them about some kind of hurdles that you're facing. I've done it a few times, and like I told you, like the first time was when I was like coming for the German thought program, and like started in the university. The next time was when I actually shifted already. So then I was like, yeah, then the people were a lot more competitive. So I was like, yeah, again, I was like self-doubting and like thinking what I can do further. Before that, when I was changing the program, I had to go there because you cannot change the university programs without like a confirmation from the psychologist. That is just from the requirement that TUHH has. So I had to go there and I had to talk to them. But again, every single time it was a good experience. They help you out, they listen to you, and just remember these things. It's super important. Solving the problems, that is something you have to do on your own. Really, you cannot rely on anybody else to do it. And this is an important thing I believe in. And this is an important thing I also like always tell others, like any kind of like important life decision, every kind of like solution, like you will always have to find out on your own. There could be somebody else, like I talked about, like some other people who can give you their own insights on those things. But in the end, you will have to take the action, you will have to take the steps, and you will be the person who is going to take yourself into a completely different phase of your life. So be careful out there. Don't think too much. Don't take your exams and like your job and like all of these things so seriously. Like that is not all that there is in life. If I would have been so like heartbroken after the rejection I got from TUHH, I wouldn't have tried for the reconsideration, or like wouldn't have studying the program, wouldn't have dared to change the master's program. Then wouldn't have dared to make this big leap of faith and like buying this house and buying this car and trying to figure out everything. I don't know, like how the life would be. But at the time when you're actually having the difficult times, of course you never think about these things. Of course life feels like everything is going to just kind of go wrong, but it never really does. Life is never going to be only bad. Life is never going to be only good. You will always have these ups and downs. It's going to be a sinusoidal wave, a sine wave. But the time periods of the crests and the troughs, they are not going to be the same, and the amplitude is also not going to be the same. So take care, and I'm going to be now slowly active again on YouTube. I'll be uploading a few more videos, so if there's something that you want to like listen to or like you want to watch, you can write in the comment section. I'm always reading them, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.